YouTube. We're back again for more of our Essen Bonanza Explosion blog coverage. We're live at Essen Spiel 2017. Thanks in part to all of our amazing Kickstarter backers and our amazing sponsors down here. Be sure to show them some love in the clickables down below. But right now, we're about to talk with Hans from the Game Master about a game that really intrigued me. That is the Story Maker. So what is Story Makers, Hans?
Story Makers, you're making your own story. You can choose from over 100 million different stories, and if you make the story, the other players have to guess what story you made. So it's a bit of deduction, you have hints you can play, there's non-verbal communication, and there's a lot of fantasy you can use. And it's really fun because you learn how the people think. So what kind of story would I make?
So how does it work?
Yeah, it is in Dutch, but we have English cards here. So as in this demo, what you do is you combine the cards to make a nice story. For instance, I'm going to check, 1 second. Okay, I got a bit of a view. So, for instance, I could make a story. I would say there's a one-armed donkey. Well, president could also be, but okay. One-armed donkey who went on vacation, slept very low or fell, but he was throwing something in the, well, I'm thinking of the water closet, but into the closet.
All right.
Okay, could be that this is my story. What do? I take my notebook here. I'm going to write down B, so it's B, D, and D. But I'm not going to show anybody that this is my code, secret code. So I keep it like this. The other players will have to think, what kind of story did Hans think of? Maybe you would say, it's about the handsome fairy who was sleeping in the museum. Maybe you think this is my story. And I would say, you don't understand me at all. I have made up a completely different story. You have 0 cards right. That's how it works. So then you think, okay, this is not good. Hans has made a completely different story. So you have to think of what kind of story would he make. So we have a second chance. For instance, at the start, you decide how many rounds you need to guess the story. If you don't know me very well, you should do it like this, 4 or 5 rounds. But let's say you think you can guess it in 3 rounds. But it's not just guessing, you also have the hints. So if you say, okay, we have 0 right, which you can also put on your notebook, like you also have a notebook, the other players, because it's a cooperative game. And you can write down, okay, we chose C, A, and this was 0 points, right? So we know at least these are not right. Helps you a little bit in the deduction. But then we can also try to use a hint, and it's a cooperative game, so I'm willing to help you. Let's take a look at the hint cards. This is in Dutch, but it shows a little bit because of the pictures. For example, I could make drawing, I could be Handy Harry, or I could make body language, or just a sound, or I could use some acting, right?
Okay.
Acting out. So I would try to help you because you're really on the wrong. That's the donkey, right? Okay, and the donkey was, what was he doing? He was throwing something in the closet. Okay. For instance, if you would choose the actor, shall I try, or you may choose? You decide. What would you like me to do?
Handy Harry.
Handy Harry. Okay, here we go. Handy Harry. Something like that.
One-armed donkey?
Huh?
Well, I know it's a donkey.
Doggy, is that a doggy? The donkey. Yes.
And he
not
was
doggy.
throwing.
Not a doggy, but okay. Okay, you think
And he was throwing. With
he
his,
was throwing?
with his horns.
Yes.
I got nothing else out
And then
of it. Yeah.
okay, then you try to guess the story. Now I already told you so, but just to get an idea, and you get 3 chances to guess the story. And the great thing is, there are so many different stories to make, and every player may be story maker in turns. So it's good for fantasy, creativity, good for learning words and what they mean. And it's a cooperative game. You can even play it with a team version. I played it with about 10 people, adults, of which 5 I didn't know, and we had such a lot of fun. It felt as if we were drinking gin tonic all night. So really, I even learned that my mother originally even wanted to become a nun.
Wow.
Yeah, this was before she got me.
Yeah.
So it's really, you learn a lot about yourself and about others. So
Alright.
that's what's fun about story makers.
Well, thank you very much. That is Story Makers from the Game Master. If it looks like it might be your cup of tea, be sure to click on check it out, and be sure to click on the subscribe button if you're enjoying this Essen coverage. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.